What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Reverse 1999 video. Alright guys, real quick, a couple things that I want to talk about that may help a lot of brand new players. So if you've never played this game before, you guys understand it's a gacha RPG, and with that there is a lot of tips and tricks that can help you advance and get further in the game and better your account if you do things correctly. So let's talk about a couple of these items and things. So we're going to talk about what you should push if you want the best results. Obviously, play the game however you want, guys. This game is meant to be fun. It is completely in your hands how you handle it, but I just want to give you guys some of the best ways to further your account faster. Okay, so first off, what you want to push. Your main thing here, for especially as a beginner, and this is early on content, of course, is going to be pushing the campaign. Push the campaign as much as you possibly can. And the reason you do that, guys, there's a couple of reasons, obviously. Number one, you're going to get yourself a lot of resources that you need to level up. Also, a lot of resources such as right over here, the clear drops that will help you summon or use it for multiple other reasons. And then, of course, you get yourself unlocked features that you have locked behind campaign. So if the further you go into this, the more you can unlock. Now remember, there is a stamina system involved that's called activity. The one thing to remember also is you can purchase additional activities, and you also have these jars of candy that can refresh it. Do yourself a favor, do not overcap. Okay, overcapping in any gacha game, as you guys are aware, is a waste of stamina. So try to use as much stamina as you possibly can before using this, and this way the activity will remain where you need it. You can also see under here how much time before your full activity is completed. So if you have a 0, you can kind of see here when you want to log back in and continue going with the campaign mode. So campaign should kind of be your number one spot, guys, to focus on. Okay, if you're not focusing on campaign, you're probably doing things a little bit off, and you should definitely be pushing this as much as you possibly can. Now, number two, recommended. This level recommendation really focuses on your DPS. Your DPS should somewhat be in that same level, and you guys should be focusing on your DPS as your number one goal to level up first. Couple other things to note as well too, of course, right? When you see the enemies, you'll see what kind of enemies are here by clicking on this button here called enemy. You can see who's here, what faction they're in. So this is star, beast, mineral, leaf, etc., right? So this is important to note because there is a cycle here of factions that are stronger against each other. So you can see here there's two beasts, so you want to bring minerals. The stars are stronger against minerals, leaves are stronger against star, etc., right? So it's important to note who you're bringing in here. Another good thing to note as well too is that when you use somebody, it'll tell you if they're stronger or weaker on the screen. So keep that in mind. That will help you determine what kind of units you want to use. And also, if you click on the button right over here, it actually shows you, if you're stuck on a level, what people have used to finish these levels, okay, and which characters they're using the most of. So currently, Sonita is being used the most often, and the team that's there as well. Also, remember your first melody. A lot of people in combat don't use this. So let's go ahead and jump into the combat for a second, and I'll show you guys how this works and why it's important to remember it exists. So a couple things to remember. The cards are lined up a specific way. You can use your melody after 25 to randomly remove the cards and change them into new ones if you don't like what you have. Or if you wait for 40, you can use this as a free turn to turn another one of these into a 2-star if you need to, okay? In combat, remember that the order does matter. So for example, right now there's really nothing here that makes sense. So remember, if you want to start attacking, start with your buffs first, right? This buff attack here will increase the damage dealt and damage taken by 15%, and also the penetration rate for the caster by 10%. So put this in there. That instantly will give everybody a buff. Start with those. Don't end with those, because that's a waste of attacks that you're doing, okay? Another thing to remember is if there are cards that are lined up, let's say there's one card here, but there's two of these debuffs ones. If you use this card, it'll automatically go into the other card and turn it into a 2-star. Currently, that's not the case, so we're going to go ahead and attack with some of these units. So this is a star unit. You guys can see here the mineral units are going to be weaker against it, so keep that in mind. So right now we're attacking all mineral units. They're not doing as much damage because technically that star unit is definitely stronger than these minerals in terms of faction. Also on the screen here, if you click on Intel, you can see what the characters that you're fighting against can do, how much HP they have, their ratings for attack, reality defense, critical attack, mental defense, and their actual skills as well. And this goes for every character that's on the screen. Okay, so keep that in mind. Also, if you click here, you probably saw this in tutorial, you can see if your moves are stronger against which one. If you have a hard time remembering which factions are stronger against which, that's a great way to tell. All right, so let's go ahead and do this move, this move. Now, this is what I was talking about. See, you put them together and instantly that happens. Now, to get this to 3 stars, you need another 2-star of this for these two to combine and become a 3-star. So don't rush into just moving things around. Sometimes it's better just to naturally let it occur, and then that's how the battle system will work. Okay, so you guys can see there, that did more damage. Right there, you'll see another one right here coming up. There you go. See, and it's in red. You'll know which is stronger because it's in red, and that's a good way to tell what you want to use and against who, okay? Now, keeping in mind, there are AoE damage-dealing moves as well as single target damage-dealing moves. To tell, just have to hold down the button, and you guys can see mass attack equals AoE. One target attack equals single target, okay? So that is a good way to tell which way you want to go with your attack. So this one I'm going to start here because this will kill it. And then here, I'll go ahead and use my single attack, right? You don't want to use your single attack first on this because that'll waste your AoE damage. So combat system, guys, understanding when you want to do what is very, very important for the way you're going to function in the combat system, all right? So there you go. We lost an opponent. Here comes my substitute. Remember, your substitute is available for you in case somebody does die. Ideally, you don't want to have to use your substitute, but sometimes you really don't have a choice, right? So let's go ahead and kill this guy off. There we go, AoE. Again, start with your AoEs first, let them do the work for you, and then go ahead and do your single target attacks. And you guys can see the importance here of having the proper factions in the right battles, right? Because if you don't have them in the right battles, what ends up happening is you're going to take more damage fighting against a stronger faction and then do less damage altogether as well, making the fights a lot more difficult. So it is important to kind of focus on leveling your characters. All right, guys, so once you have actually gone through some of the campaign, you're going to unlock some resource sections. Make sure you're coming in here and actually completing these. So you can see here, this one, for example, is going to actually open up and give you guys more clear drops when you first finish it, but also gives you dust. Now, dust is going to be your currency to level up your characters, and you're going to need quite a bit of it. So make sure after you've completed that, you use your stamina here, get this once done, and get your clear drops and this out of the way. So very important to note also that this is all locked behind completion of the campaign, and that's why it's very important, guys, to complete the campaign as fast as you can and progress through it. Now, these also do take activities, so also remember that too. If you don't have activity, just wait. Or you guys can use your candy jar. I don't personally like using more than one stamina clear drop to refresh stamina if I don't have it. As a free-to-play especially, you don't want to use your main resources to get stamina. Just wait it out, come back in when you're ready, and tackle it again. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this. So make sure you guys are doing this as well too. It's very important to complete these and collect as many of these resources as you can and clear drops from this section. Also, if you can tell here, if you go to M2A, this also unlocked now. This is, instead of dropping dust, will actually drop some of these instead, which is your sharp botany, and that's going to be essentially your coins in order to level up. Now, how does this affect your account? Of course, if you go to your characters, right, go to your crew, and let's go to Sonita, for example. Every time you level up, you're going to need both the dust and you're going to need the sharpodonty, just gold. Let's just call it gold, okay? We'll call it coins. This is craziness. Okay, so there you guys go. Now, another thing to note also, while you guys are progressing, there's going to be a brand new section for you to focus on, okay? So there's the 8-day letter. Remember, DK does drop after 8 days. She is a healer as well, so if you don't have a current healer and you want to use something for the time being, DK will drop on the 8th day, so you will have a good healer at that point to help you out. And another thing to note as well too here, Storm Visitors, this is going to be your daily login. You're going to get some summon tickets, and beginning of the tale is very, very important, guys. This one here is going to actually allow you to get additional resources, clear drops as you progress through the story. Now, this is another reason, again, to push campaign, because look at this. Every act you get yourself multiple different things through the game. One thing to note as well too, if you level up characters that they recommend here, for example, Eagle or Sonito, you actually get the full resources back that you spent on leveling them up to level 23, right? So not a bad thing to do if you want to invest in these two characters. Sunito, a lot of people will do it, so definitely get to 23, guys. Go into here, get all the resources back, and then you can put it towards somebody else like Eagle, and then get those resources back as well too. Sunito is a 5-star, Eagle is a 4-star. Okay, so remember to do that as well too. And at the same time, when you clear Act 6, you get yourself Sunito's garment. So again, more reasons to push even further. All right, well, let's talk about the summoning system and how this works for the banners. Okay, so once you do the beginner banner and you get yourself your first 6-star character, that beginner banner is gone. Now you are left with the following 3 banners that are going to allow you to get certain characters. So each of them has different 6-star characters, and you can see here by clicking on it which one does what. Okay, so let's go ahead to the details on this one. For example, enjoy the rate up for Sotheby here, for Charlie and for X, right? Off of the 50 stars, you have a 50% chance of getting Charlie or Sotheby as well. So if you want Sotheby and you don't get the first 50% chance, you're going to get Charlie instead. And then the next one, if you do get the pity or next summon that you have a 6-star, will definitely be Sotheby. The rate details are also here as well, just so you guys can see here. 6-star drop 1.5% for any of these guys, 8.5% for these 5 stars, 40% for these 4 stars, 45% for these 3, and then 5% for these 2. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's how that works, and you guys can read here how it all functions. I believe these are all timed banners, and they will eventually disappear. So you can see here 13 days left. Same with Clang of Sword and Armor, 13 days left, and Amid the Water, 13 days left. Now, one thing to remember, and this is important, is there's a bank section here, which is pretty much your pay-to-win shop, but also your free-to-play shop. When you go to the pawn shop here, you're going to get these little cassettes that you get through doing your dailies and your weeklies. You have the opportunity for every month to get yourself 10 multis. Now, we're already October 26th, so this is going to reset very soon. I would highly recommend, guys, everybody push for this before November 1st. Try to get these out of the way, and then November 1st, you should get a brand new 10 of these that you can pull. So this is going to be 10 multis, very, very important for free-to-play players and also for pay-to-win players to save some resources, okay? Fragment shops and all that stuff is going to happen later on, but this is something that you definitely want to focus. Now, let's talk a little bit about Wilderness. This is another thing you're going to unlock. This is where all of your AFK stuff is. If you played Alchemy Stars, you kind of understand how this works. You build a town, you add characters in there, and as you progress, you get yourself some resources along the way, right? And you can also increase your bonds as you play the game too. So make sure you're coming in here and collecting everything. Now there is, in fact, a quest log that you can follow. Let me go back in, sorry guys. And you guys should absolutely be following this quest log. So here you go, level up the Paleo Hall to level 2. So currently when I try to do this, for example, right, I can claim the dust, I can claim this eventually, but I can't level this up. You guys can see here I'm kind of stuck because I need to get this Child of Prosperity. The only way to do this is to go through second 14. So this is second act of 14. So again, another reason to push your content, but you definitely want to focus on following these guidelines and collecting all of your resources here. A lot of your resources while you're AFK and you're waiting for stamina is going to come from the Wilderness. So it's absolutely crucial, guys, to focus on your Wilderness and don't neglect it, especially if you care about how you're going to progress. So those are some of the main things I wanted to talk about, guys, real quick. If you guys have any other comments, anything you recommend, please let me know in the comment section. Another thing to note, we will be doing team building guides eventually for free to play, and we'll also be talking about some other banners when I get more accustomed to the actual game itself, so I can give you guys some proper advice on whether a banner is worth pulling for or not. But check out the reroll guides, check out Pride Win. There's a lot of content creators covering on this game. I'm loving it so far, having a blast. So remember, just have fun with it. Most importantly, if these tips don't matter to you, just have a great time, enjoy the game, and remember to push content whenever you are feeling like it if you're not looking for the max min portion of the game. Alright guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.